Hello there, it's Jamie, your holistic honey. I'm in one of my favorite stores, Chamberlain's. It's a great health store. If you're lucky enough to have one of these in your neighborhood, awesome. And even better, there's a hidden treasure here named Dr. Don. I have consulted with him for years through different ailments and things, and I'd like to introduce him to you. Dr. Don?
Thank you, Jamie. Yeah, I've known Jamie for a little bit, and I consult with this health food store over the years, and my background is was a chiropractic physician for many years. And, Jamie was asking me, well, what's the problem with America today? We have so much illness. Basically, we have 30,000 different conditions, 58,000 different medications treating those conditions, and so many of them are dependent on just what you're eating. And unfortunately, our soil and the food that we have in this country is rather pathetic. It's worn out. It's not only depleted and worn out, but it's also contaminated. Well, contaminated how? Well, you have herbicides, fungicides, pesticides, rodenticides. Synthetic fertilizer only puts in 3 minerals in the soil. We need well over 50 to 60 to 70 to be healthy, like it was in the old days when our grandparents had gardens. We don't have gardens anymore. Today, a garden is your grocery store, Publix, here in the area here in Orlando, and that's not good. That's not fresh produce. The average American meal in this country travels 2,500 miles. That's amazing. Now that's not fresh produce. Yeah, and then if you had a garden in your backyard, well, how many miles is that? It's more like yards. And that held the community together because what you didn't grow, you got from your neighbor or from some community farmer. So everything was different then. So today we have worn out soil, worn out people, and worn out food and worn out people. That basically is what's going on in the country today. A disaster. And all diseases are caused by us. We're responsible for all the diseases in this country because the Creator did not make them. We're out of harmony with Mother Nature. Well, nature's 7 doctors: food, water, air, rest, exercise, sunshine, and power of the mind. Out of harmony. Umbilical cord, cut, severed. So is our health.
Absolutely. So can you give us any advice, any hope for the future, any good thoughts, anything we can do, any tips?
Yeah, well, if you can't do your own garden, which most of us won't be able to do, you're going to have to get as much fresh produce as you can. Look for things that are absolutely fresh. Raw, maybe 50-60% of what your diet should be raw. And the seeds and nuts. Unfortunately, grains today are a disaster. Hybridization, they ruined it, and then on top of that, they genetically modify the genetic code of these grains, like wheat, rye, and barley. They're just not good anymore. We've ruined them. But if you get natural food, fresh produce, don't run away from fat. Fat is your absolute friend. You need fat, even saturated fat. 70% of your brain is fat. 70%. Every nerve in your body has a nerve wire. It's called a myelin sheath. That's fat. And guess what your hormones are made from, male and female? Fat. Cholesterol. Cholesterol, that's healthy. You need cholesterol in your body to be healthy. So a woman going into menopause and she doesn't have, she's on a statin drug to lower her cholesterol. Now she doesn't even have enough raw material cholesterol to make her hormones. More problems for women going into menopause. But you got to have fresh food. That's basically it. And like those Nature 7 doctors I just mentioned, well, how do you get fresh water, food, and air? Hey, you have to work at it. You have to detoxify your water, your air, well, whatever. You can filter your air somewhat, but unfortunately, most of the pollution in our environment today is in our homes. Everything is synthetic. Your mattress is synthetic, you see? So you got to try to stay with green paint, get carpeting out of your home, stuff like that. You just have to pay attention to natural things the way it was 100 years ago, because industrialized, chemicalized farming in this country is taking us down the wrong road. And that's why we have 58,000 rotating drugs trying to treat the symptoms. Those 30,000 different conditions and diseases are not diseases as we think of a disease. It's a dis-ease, no harmony, no balance. So you got to take whole food supplements, not synthetic vitamins and minerals like you find in a health food store too often. They're mostly 90-95% in that category. You want to see broccoli, spinach, and carrots. You don't want to see vitamin A, B, C, and manganese and zinc. You want to see whole foods, period. That's 100% whole food equals 100% health. Something less than that equals less than 100% health. That's what I'm trying to say.
That's amazing. Thank you so much.
No, you're welcome.
I totally want to talk to you some more.
All right, we'll see you next
We'll
time.
see you next time. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. I just wanted to come back on and say we didn't mean to totally dishearten you or put a black cloud over your day. There is still hope, and you can still stay moderately healthy, but it's a job. It's a full-time job, as we were talking
That's
about.
right.
But there's a great book that he mentioned to me that I am going to get today, and I'm going to let him tell you just a second about it.
Well, you know, what I was telling Jamie is people live long lives and healthy lives and disease-free lives in other parts of the world. There's a book called Blue Zones, and it basically talks, I think, about 8 areas of the world, countries, like, let's say, Russia, Georgia. Not Georgia, United States, but Russia, Georgia, where there they take the ages, the years that go by, and they tell you more or less what each one represents, categories. 0 to 80 is youth. 80 to 100 is middle age, and 100 and up is senior citizen. Now, what are these people doing? They have something in common. They lead very natural lives in harmony with Mother Nature, those Nature 7 doctors. Next to nothing for technology. They lead really simple, simplistic lives. But they have no doctors, no hospitals, no drugs, and no processed food. So you got to start with stuff like that. It's up to you. Make it important to you. That's how you're going to survive in this world.
I'm moving to Russia, Georgia. Ready to go?
Yeah.
Let's go. Thank you.
Are we nutty or what?